What does the symbol on a Transformer's chest actually tell you? More than the character ever says out loud. That badge is not decoration, it is a language, and once you can read it, you can spot a traitor a full episode before they say a word. The two famous ones, the Autobot face and the Decepticon sigil, are both built on real Cybertronians. But which faces and what they were before they became symbols is a fight that has run for 40 years. Hold that thought, because the badge has been telling the truth, the dialogue keeps hiding. Start with the one everyone knows. The Autobot face, red usually, a blunt, blocky head staring straight ahead. For most people, it means one thing, the good guys. Loyalty, protection, the side that runs toward the burning building. And inside the story that reading mostly holds, Optimus wears it. Every bot who chooses the war over their own safety wears it. It is the mark of the side that swore to protect life, even life that is not theirs. But here is where most people get it wrong. Out in our world, that face is not a prime. And it is not a prophecy. It is a toy head. A designer named Wayne Molinaire drew it in 1983 for the agency that built the Transformers brand, and he based it on the face of Prowl, the loyal police car. So the symbol of pure heroism started as the head of a background soldier, and the badge can come off. In the original cartoon, Skyfire spent millions of years frozen as a Decepticon. When he woke up and chose the Autobots, he did not give a speech. He tore the Decepticon mark off his own chest and replaced it with theirs. The switch was physical. You watched a character change sides by changing his face. So the Autobot badge does not mean born good. It means chosen. It is a decision worn on the chest. But that red face you trust, it was not always Autobot. Hold that. Now the other half of the binary. The Decepticon sigil. Purple, jagged, a sharp face built from hard angles. If the Autobot mark says protect, this one says the opposite. Conquer, rule, take. Megatron wears it. Starscream wears it. Every bot who decided that strength was the only law stamped it on their armor. Where the Autobots run toward the fire, the Decepticons start it. That is the whole language in two faces. One signals loyalty, one signals appetite, and like its rival, it comes from a toy. The same man, Wayne Molinaire, the same year, he based the Decepticon face on the head of Soundwave. So the symbol of the entire fascist war machine is a stylized cassette player. The old cartoon never really explained where the sigil came from. It just was. The comics are the ones that gave it a birth. In the IDW comics, the badge has an origin almost too perfect. Megatron was not always a warlord. He was a worker and a writer, and he wrote a treatise against the system that was grinding his people down. When the authorities came for him, he threw that datapad through a public screen in pure rage. The glass shattered, and the hole it left, the jagged crack in the screen, was the exact shape that became the Decepticon insignia. The logo of the revolution was born from a broken window. Read that issue. It is Chaos Theory from 2011. Here is the part the heroes never mention. The badge can be hidden. In Megatron's origin, Soundwave needed into the illegal gladiator pits, the ones no Decepticon was allowed near, so he covered his badge with a heat sign, the same rub decal Hasbro printed on the toys, and walked in clean. The mark that screams loyalty to the cause can be switched off with a thumb, so the Decepticon badge does not mean evil, it means choice. A choice loud enough to start a war, and quiet enough to hide when it has to. Jump forward in time. The war ends, sort of, and the descendants inherit new badges. The Maximals carry a stylized animal face, usually a mammal or a bird. The Predacons carry the head of an insect, and the shapes are not random. The Maximals are the line that came down from the Autobots, so their badge keeps that older promise to protect. The Predacons came down from the Decepticons, and their badge keeps the old hunger. A new war, wearing inherited faces. But Beast Wars is exactly where the badge stops being reliable. Inheritance can be rewritten. On Beast Wars, a symbol was something you could lose, swap, or fake in an afternoon. When the Transmuter flipped Rhinox from Maximal to Predacon, his very symbol changed with his mind. Rat Trap once faked a Predacon badge to run a con. Ravage wore both marks at once, a Predacon symbol over a Decepticon spark, because he was a double agent, and the whole point was that you could not trust the badge. And then there is Waspinator. When he finally quit the Predacons, he did not file paperwork. He reached up and pulled his own insignia off like a patch of fabric, the way you would peel a sticker off a jar. A faction you can shed with 2 fingers. So a beast badge means inheritance. The war handed down through the bloodline, but inheritance is a story someone can edit, and these bots edited it constantly. Not every badge marks a faction, some mark a job. The Wreckers wear a symbol that is not about which side you are on, it is about what you are willing to do. The Wreckers are the Autobots' Black Operations Unit, the squad sent on the missions nobody is expected to survive. Their badge first showed up in the comics around 2001, and what it really signals is grim. These are bots like Springer and Impactor, the ones the army points at a suicide run and trusts to walk it. You were chosen because you were expendable, which is why the saddest use of any insignia in the films belongs to them. In Rise of the Beasts, the villain Scourge does not just kill Autobots, he collects them. He takes the insignia off the bodies of the Wreckers he has murdered and welds them to his own arm like notches on a gun. 4 of them, at least, hang off his armor. The badge that meant you were brave enough to die becomes a trophy proving you did, so the Wrecker symbol does not mean elite, it means spent. It is the one badge that is worth more to your enemy after you are dead than it ever was while you were alive. Now a small badge with a buried secret. The Minicons. In the Armada continuity, Minicons are the little ones, power sources that bolt onto bigger robots and make them stronger. Tools, basically. Used by both sides, fought over like ammunition. Whole episodes were built around grabbing them first. Their symbol looks innocent enough. A clean shape, almost a letter M, except it is not an M. Look at the Minicon sigil next to Unicron, the planet-eating god of the entire franchise, and the Tricklands. The shape is his face. The curved line around it is the ring that orbits his body. The Minicons were created by Unicron, and every single one of them spends the whole series wearing the face of the Destroyer on their chest, marching into battle for heroes who never look closely enough to notice. That is the first hard proof of something this video has been circling. A symbol can lie about what it is. These little bots are not a footnote in the war. They are a piece of the devil, handed out as equipment, and the badge quietly tells you so the entire time. Design intent hidden in plain sight. So a Minicon badge means servitude, but underneath it means something its own wearers cannot read. Remember that, because it is about to happen on a much bigger scale. Now the badge stops being something you wear and becomes something done to you. Meet the Decepticon Justice Division. In the IDW comics, they are Megatron's secret police, a 5-bot death squad that hunts down Decepticons who try to leave. They are named after the first 5 cities the Decepticons ever conquered. Their leader is named after one of them, Tarn, which also happens to be Megatron's hometown. And Tarn loves Megatron the way Zealots love a god, so much that he did something no other character in this franchise has done. He made the Decepticon symbol his actual face. He wears a mask shaped like the insignia, and beneath it, the badge is embossed into his faceplate. He did not put the symbol on his chest. He became it. There is no person under there anymore. Just the logo, given a voice. That is the badge as worship, but the same symbol has a crueler use as a brand. In Transformers Animated, the Constructicons go through what the lore calls the rite of the Deceptibrand. They are strapped down, and the Decepticon mark is burned into them with electricity, painful enough to change their color as it sears in. And in the comics, Starscream claims this was always Megatron's method. He branded Scorponok the moment he brought him back to life, just to remind a creature he had resurrected exactly who was in charge. You did not join the Decepticons and earn the badge. Megatron branded it onto you the way a rancher brands cattle, so you would never forget who owned you. So a branded badge does not mean belonging, it means property. The symbol stops being who you are and becomes the name of the bot who put it there. Which brings us to the last symbol, and it is the one you have been staring at this whole time. The origin story itself. Remember the red Autobot face I told you to hold? Here is why. Ask where that face actually comes from inside the story, and the franchise cannot give you one answer. It gives you 4, and they do not agree. In the Marvel Comics, the Autobot badge is the face of the last Autobot, an ancient guardian the god Primus left behind. Noble. In the IDW comics, it is older than the Autobots entirely, an ancient holy icon called the First Face, supposedly the face of Primus himself, except it was faked into existence by Shockwave using a time travel paradox, so the most sacred symbol on Cybertron is a lie a scientist planted in the past. And in the original 1984 cartoon, the truth is uglier than any of them. The Autobots began as slaves. The badge was the brand their Quintesson masters stamped on the cheap labor. The mark of heroism started as the mark of property. So which is it? A god's face, a forgery, or a slave brand? All 3 are canon. None of them is the toy head Wayne Molinaire actually drew in 1983. The meaning was never fixed. It was written and rewritten by whoever was holding the pen, and the franchise knows it. Watch the most recent movie, Transformers 1. The Decepticon symbol is the face of Megatronus, a fallen prime. And we do not hear about it. We watch it happen. Sentinel Prime takes a mining tool and carves that dead face into D16, the miner who becomes Megatron against his will, so it can never be removed. The single most recognizable villain logo on the planet is born as a wound, a brand carved into a bot who never asked for it. That is the whole language in one image. A badge is not the truth about who someone is. It is a claim about who got to decide. The symbol can lie. It has been lying beautifully for 40 years. So, of every badge we just decoded, which hidden meaning caught you most off guard? Drop it in the comments below.